Welcome everybody back here at Veil of Sound, and I am very, very happy to have somebody here on the show whom a lot of you have probably seen on stage in one of his various groups that he has performing with over the last couple of years. Today we are going to talk about his, I think at the moment, maybe most important project, Sinsaenum. I'm very sure I mispronounced it, but I'm very happy to have Frédéric Leclerq here on the show. So Frédéric, thanks for joining.
Hello, thank you for having me. And no, you pronounce it right, actually. Sinsaenum, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult if you have a word which is not really a word, but like a portmanteau of what is it? Insane and sin, right?
So yeah, exactly. But at least you didn't add like an extra I, like most people do. They go like for Sinsaenum, but so no.
You know, first of all, being German. Second of all, having had Latin for 6 years at school.
I know. Yeah, I know. I went through the same, but yeah. So I don't add letters. But then again, like it really doesn't matter. Like people butcher my last name as well. I'm over this. It really doesn't. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, but Frédéric, the first thing that we always ask here on the Veil of Sound, and I'll give you a moment to think about it: is there any kind of band from your friends or something that you heard recently that you really like that you would like to plug? I'll give you a moment to think. I would like to plug something. A few months ago, I looked at the list of artists performing at Roadburn Festival this year, and there was one that I had never heard of before. I listened to it. I liked it. Then I saw the gig, and it was the best gig of the weekend. So I have to give a shout out to Smote from Great Britain. Wonderful band, amazing live.
There you go. Good. Well, good.
Frédéric, have you got something?
No, absolutely not. So that's why I was hoping that you would say more about them. What I would be thinking about. No, I can't think of anything. I listen to old stuff, man. So I'm just.
So man, you plug something old. It doesn't have to be new. What was the last thing you listened to?
Let me check on my phone.
No, of course, no problem.
Yes, that's how much I remember. So that's how it was.
Well, Frédéric, we're both from '78. We don't need to pretend anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was in the car and I was listening to Bolt Thrower. So I can plug that if you want. I mean,
of course,
that's what it is. That I have like both Bolt Thrower, Sinsaenum, because I'm checking like the sound on then
the car test.
yeah. Then Alice Cooper, Last Temptation.
Okay.
Dickinson, Tattooed Millionaire, Scorpions, Stays the Heat.
So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. He's listening to the classics. So
yeah, right.
Let's go for Bolt Thrower.
Yeah. Bolt Thrower, the album Wall Master. Love this album.
Wonderful. Yes. And Frédéric, if we're already talking about old school and classics, is that something that you still take inspiration from?
Naturally. No, I mean it's not on purpose, but I mean this is the stuff that I keep listening to or going back to, because now it's not for when I do that, it's not like to get inspiration from. I don't analyze anything. It's just like to have that sort of feel good moment. Like it reminds me of when times were better and you don't care about anything. You're out of school and everything's fine. The life is amazing. So that's what I do, and that's what we mostly do past a certain age. So yeah. So no, but of course, everything that I've been listening to and everything that I listen to, but also everything that I do has an impact on the creative process. Like like if you eat something, or I don't know, you've been like watching a movie and that's going to inspire you like a certain vibe or whatnot. So yes, with that being said, on the last Sinsaenum, there are some touches of Bolt Thrower, because I guess I did listen to it in the recent years. I went back into it, revisited their catalog. So there must be some touches, but it's not intentional. It's not just like, oh wow, this is cool, I'm just gonna have to copy that and put it the album. But
it's also like everybody thinks when a band sits down that they normally think about, okay, what kind of record we want to do. Over the last couple of years that I've ever talked to bands, the only band who explained that they really actively wanted to do a record in this or that genre was Mesa from Italy, who did that for their last record. All other bands write songs.
Yeah.
And that's probably the same with you. And for every song and every record, there is a certain background. And I'm very happy that you allowed me to ask the following question. So let's get straight to it. One of the major themes on the record is death.
Yeah.
It's, of course, the impact of your late drummer Joey Jordison's death. It's your father's death. Can you explain maybe a little bit how both of those went on to influence the new record?
Well, it's gonna be a little long.
Yeah.
I started writing the music prior to their death. So the music, like the 2/3 of the album, which is a lot, but it's still like a third to be done. That was written in 2019, 2020. Then I lost my father, and that left me completely empty. I didn't feel any inspiration from this at all. It's not just no, but I'm saying this like, some people might not know. They might think, oh, you're going to turn this into like art and this is great. No, that just left like a big empty hole in my heart that is still not, but anyway. So at that time, I know that because I was looking at our social media the other day, and I saw a picture of Stéphane and I in 2021 in my old studio, just being like with a guitar and just like working on new Sinsaenum. Well, in fact, what we were doing was just like recording those ideas I had like 2 years before, and just like sort of, trying to, I guess it was just like people around you, they try to motivate you, just like, okay, let's do that. Let's, but that left me like very dry inspiration wise. Then less than a year after that, less than a year, Joey passed away. So that's, you lose a friend, you lose a brother, so it's hard. Then we talked about it with the rest of the band, and we said, okay, the album should be like dedicated to him. Let's carry on. Yes, okay, let's do that. It would also be dedicated to my father because it's important to me. Sadly, as it turns out now, it's also dedicated to our light engineer, Fred, who passed away last year. So yes, so once we decided to dedicate the album to them, then there was like a purpose to carry on, because before that I was just like, I'm the one that's the band is my baby. I mean, I'm driving, but I had like no reason to drive. I was just
goal to go to, right?
No. I mean, when I lost my father, simply put, like the priorities change in life. Well, what's important is music. I mean, as much as it's important to me, it is, but you just also realize what's life all about. You've got all those questions and whatnot. So at that time, I was not thinking just like, okay, let's do that then. I was like, and I also have like Kreator, who's been driving very well without me for that many years. I'm happy to be in one of the passenger seats. So actually, I still, I can give direction a little bit there, right? Some shortcuts, if you will, on the highway. But I'm still not driving, so this is great. So that was like, that was like my. That's what I was doing at the time. Anyway, when I had to drive again for Sinsaenum, first we had to find a drummer, and once we had Andre on board, we can go back to that later. I guess it was time to finish the songs, and with that in mind, I'm glad those songs were started before, because, like I said, it would have been impossible to start from scratch. But I had like a motivation goal. So I wouldn't say the album, like the theme of death is more inherent to, because I'm the one writing the music, as on a personal level. And sure, it has an impact of that third that has been written after, but that was not the motivation. I was not trying to express this. I was just trying to finish those songs who were written in different mindset, and they were written like for to something catchy, aggressive, to find the Sinsaenum's own path, because 2019 I had joined, or I was about to join Kreator, but that was that year, and joining Loud Blast as well, and it felt like Sinsaenum had to exist by itself, not take anything from Kreator or from Loud Blast, so that naturally made the album what it is, and so it is dedicated. It is mentioned that it's dedicated to the death of people that we loved. But it's more than that. It's like I like, not that I'm comparing the quality of this album to the one I'm going to mention, but Back in Black is like that. Back in Black was, but it's not, the album is not sad, but the reasoning behind what the events are, and I guess that's what it is with in Devastation. That was a long answer. I warned you before.
I love long answers. Everybody who listens to these interviews knows that I'm not one for one syllable or one word answers. The longer, the better. As long as it's not Bellwitch 85 minutes. A shout out to my friends Dylan and Jesse. Like 85-minute answers are too long. But it's interesting that you mentioned the melodic aspects, because that is something that has struck me with more or less all of Sinsaenum's records, but with this one in particular, there is a lot of melody going on. Are these elements, these melodic elements, is that stuff that you already from the beginning have in mind, or does that come in a second or third step?
Ornamental melodies come after, but I guess I have like a general idea of where I want to go when I start writing a song. And the first few I started to write were, I guess, Obsolete and Broken. This one has like a very melodic, like middle section, and that was clear to me that the band didn't have anything to prove in the sense that the first two, there was like a sort of pressure. Like the first one had the pressure of like, I was still in Dragonforce at the time, and I was just like, all the other guys in the band come from extreme, like violent bands, and I'm the one writing everything. So people are going to be like, so, and also pressure on myself, because I had the opportunity to finally do like a death metal album with a death metal band, and with my friends. So I want this to be good. So there was that sort of pressure. The second one was more like a sort of like well, then there's an album out, but we cannot go on tour, so we need to make a second one, and I'm trying to incorporate some stuff. So, and so after that was done, and we did a tour, and it was successful in places and not very successful other places. And I was just like, okay, I've spent the last 4 years working on this. Now I'm just gonna write the music I like. I have one still an album to do with the label. I have no pressure. If it's good, it's, but I mean,
if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, not okay. It has to be good for me. Like, I'm gonna make the album I want.
Yeah.
If the reaction is good, so that's the thing. If the reaction is good, great. If the reaction is bad, fuck them. At least I've done what I can. But so therefore, I just injected all these elements that I wanted to, like more melody. Let's go. Like these sounds, like the song "Buried Alive." Had that sort of like almost like Fear Factory vibe to it a little bit. I'm just like, fine, go for it. Whatever. And in a way, by incorporating all those elements, it still sounds like very coherent. I think there's, to me, which is great. And it's just like, I just followed, without any restriction in mind, other than we are a death metal band, so the vocals are going to be mainly like this. And, what the rules are, what the ingredients are, but I just added more in there. And somehow, it is the most us. Somehow I think that is the most like personal album, like as like identity wise. I think it's that we found it. I think
I totally agree with that. And when I listened to it again and again and again, there was also one thing that I think made the whole thing coherent for me. And that is the work that you and Stéphane put in with the guitars. The guitars keep all of it together. And even though the songs are sometimes very, very different, but one can easily hear, okay, this is the same guys playing, not always, of course, the same tuning, but with the same style, with the same road in mind. You first write the songs on the guitar, right?
Yes.
And what comes then? Because I mean, like in various bands, you've played various instruments. What is then the next thing?
I'd say mostly guitars, unless I have like a bass, maybe shades of black. Some parts would have come from the bass, possibly, but it's mainly guitar. That's my main instrument. That's the one I used to express myself. It's better that way. Once I have done, it comes with the guitar, but sometimes it comes with like a drum beat. Like I have like a rough idea of like a vibe. So I'm just gonna write that, like do it quickly in MIDI, and then do a guitar on top. So sometimes I want to have like a song that goes like ta 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 ta, and then I hear something like very fast, so just like channeling some like the ancient ones talking to me, and then the guitar comes. So, but it's mainly the guitar. Then if it's in that order, guitar, then the drums to have like something coherent. Then I grab the bass, try to either follow the guitar or like counter melody. And then comes the question, if it's not already clear in my head, is that a part with vocals, or is it just like something we should use just a riff because it's good enough on its own? And then based on that, maybe sometimes that part will require like keyboards. So I would put that as a layer on top. But sometimes a keyboard melody can come up after that first riff, and then I would put bass under and blah, 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 blah. But let's say first guitar, that's usually the case.
It's interesting that you mentioned how early in the process there is a certain drum part. Not necessarily completely elaborated, but you say that more or less early on in the process you have that.
Yeah.
When you started writing the songs 1 or 2 years before Joey died, and also on the previous records, did you already have things set in stone that he would have to do, or was it always his thing to do?
No, I give usually I give like a pretty defined ideas of what I want, what I think is right, and then sometimes it's a case of discussing, because I'm not a drummer, and sometimes guitar players like tend to write stuff in a certain way, and you go like, well, okay, thank you very much, but this is not how it is, or this is not natural, but with the years of been doing this for quite a while now, I still have like a good sense of what's realistic or not. And with the first two albums, like the first one, it was pretty much what I had written. I think it changed maybe one thing, maybe what was that? I think it was like inverted cross, that he went like full on blast beat, whereas I was like a on beat snare. It was like even more D side than what it is. My version was like, so he went away from that a little bit, and in retrospect that was a good decision, but I still listen to it and go like, I wonder, so maybe one day we'll do that correct version. And
The correct version.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was like subtle, but I just mentioned it. Ashes, the EP was different because there's a lot of stuff that he changed. And I guess it was already too late. And I was just trusting, to me, was just like, oh, he's going to do, like on the first album, it's going to be more or less that. And he was always happy, just like, yeah, I like the demos, that's fine. But he had like a change of heart last minute. And I was just like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, but the song was supposed to be different. It had like a song Ashes had to, like a different drive. It was very more martial and ministry vibe to it that disappeared.
More industrial.
Yeah. And that disappeared, and then it turned into like a sort of like death thrash songs, and it's cool too. But at the first, I was just like, you know. And so on the second album, I was just like, all right, then we're gonna make sure that we discuss this all together. So he flew to France, and then we worked on what I had and what he thought was correct. And there was like a few times when I insisted, I was just like, nah, has to be like this. He was like, nah. And it's kind of cool that to tell Joey Jordison, no, it has to be like this.
Yes.
But yeah. But
it's like telling Mille, like, no, the riff has got to be this.
Yeah. But I guess it's different with Millet. There's not that much room because he has to sing. So there's only, that has to come naturally for him. I can tell him that for like parts that are just instrumental, and I've done that. I've changed stuff on Itibarales, and that's fine. But when it comes like to the chorus and whatnot, no, it makes sense, But still, I don't keep my mouth shut. It's just like when,
which is a good thing. I think that is important.
Yeah, when I George Lynch recorded a solo album, like a project called Souls of We, and I'm playing bass on some of the songs, and I got invited to record that in LA. That was in 2007, and past the first. I was just there, jet lag, and I was in that big studio where the Carpenters in LA, where the Carpenters used to record, and there was like a Slash, Avril Lavigne. I was there with Mike from Disturbed, and I was just like, that was surreal. And then cut 3 hours after, I was telling George, no, it's like this. On the demo, you'd play it like that, and you should, and I was just like, whoa, hey, calm down, But I've always warned people, just I become very enthusiastic and passionate when it comes about music. And that's why it's all done. It might sound like a little like, but it's more like I feel very strong about this. And I've always warned, when I joined Kreator, I warned them. I told them the Georgian story, and I said, like, I feel like I'm, acting like an asshole, but it's like, it's beyond me. It's just like, I feel so strong about it. And I think when people, get that, hopefully it is beneficial for the greater good of the end result.
Very sure.
Yeah, but anyway, for the to finish with the drums, so we recorded together, and we had those discussions from time to time. But it's mostly, I'd say, like in general, it's 95, well, 80. No, not that 95, 85 or 80% what I had in mind. And then I obviously, like, when it comes to like drum roll, I don't know about drum rolls or like little like fine details and whatnot. Drum rolls, my programmed drum rolls are like very, because
And now, of course, Joey passed away 4 years ago. You found another drummer, and if I'm correct, it's Joey's former tech, isn't it?
Yeah, he was the technician on the Sinsaenum Half the World tour in 2018. So therefore, he became a part of the family, part of the adventure. So when we wanted to have someone else play the drums, we could have easily worked with like great musicians from outside, friends or not. But the fact that it became for us clear that Andre being already part of family was just made total sense, because we felt that way, that it was important. Also the fact that it's just like it's great. Like, he's a great drummer. He's part of the family. He's from Portugal, which is like not far from France at all. So it's just like it all made sense. But I think Portugal is the least of the smallest of the reasons why he's in the band. The main reason, the first one, is that family related. Really.
Yeah, of course he knows the songs, right?
Yeah, no, he knows the song, but yeah, he knows the song. He knew Joey. He was there on tour with us. He was also TMing, so he was already there, and it felt like, yeah.
And then let's go to the moment when you recorded the stuff. Did you all record separately? Because I mean, like 6 people on the record. Everybody separately or all together?
No, separately because, like I mentioned earlier, like or did I? Or maybe in a different interview, I don't know. But it took a long time to record the album. I was like going through waves of sadness and starting and also with the my busy schedule with Kreator and the other guys as well. Like everybody has like busy schedules, so it was hard to do that in one go. To be all together in one place is always very difficult. So for the album, for all these reasons, it was easier for Andre to record his stuff in Portugal and send it to Lasse. I went to Portugal before to rehearse the songs with him. So when we filmed everything, we're just like, okay, that's it. So that's fine. Then recorded the drums. Then I did the guitars. And guitars and bass were done in France. Then we stopped a little. Then we started again. Then we had the vocals to be done, but some of the guitars were not done, and I was in one of those like low wave, so stop, then start again, and just like I'm gonna redo some guitars. Okay, vocals should be changed here. So it was a long process. It's not one of those like usually an album you start, say, I don't know, in January, and from January to May or January to February or whatever, you don't stop. This one took like, it feels like forever. I don't remember when we started tracking the drums. But it feels like it took forever, and it was like very much interrupted, which could be not beneficial for the album, but somehow I think it works, and you can't really tell. Or I don't think you can at all. Now that I've told you, maybe you.
For example, I couldn't tell you which track is the oldest one. No idea.
Right. Oh, the oldest one?
No. I mean, like just by listening to it, I have no idea when you came up with which idea.
Yeah. Okay. I think the first one would be obsolete and broken.
Well,
would that be? I know that the latest one is Spiritual Lies, because that one was not even supposed to be on the album. It was like a bonus. I was just like, it was called. Can't remember what it was called, and I didn't care about it. I was just like, nah. It changed like many times, and eventually it just like ends up on the album because it's a very good song. But yeah, so it took a while to record, and then obviously I remember I was being on tour and Attila was recording his parts, because Attila is always like a back and forth within Sinsaenum. He's part of the family as well, but he stepped down on the second album because he's very busy with his other project. So on the second album, we already knew that we were going to tour and he was not going to be there. So on the pictures, he was not there, but he was part of the album. And he came on stage with us when we played in Budapest and in Norway, to add to the confusion. So people are just like, is he the band or is he not? Yeah. And then for this one, since it was going to be dedicated to Joey, among the people I've mentioned now for a few times, for him it was just like a no-brainer, just like, yeah, of course I'm going to be on the album. So I remember being in Indonesia and just talking to him, and he was just like, yeah, that's it, I'm done with the recording. And I just told him like, no, there's still that one. And he was like pissed off. And I remember calling him just like, are you mad at me? And he was like, no, I'm disappointed, because I started to just like have a glass of champagne because I thought it was done. And I'm just like, nah, almost
tomorrow.
yeah, exactly. So and then once we had all the layers, so that means like a lot of like different voices of Attila, different voices of Sean, all the guitars, the samplers that Sean has done, samplers that I asked a friend Paras to work on as well. So then it was just like another fun beginning. Just like, okay, let's cut the dead wood. So that was Lasse's work.
Yeah.
But then he would also ask me just like, look, like he would send me like videos. I would get like a WhatsApp video, just like, look, I've got all these songs here. And I mean, not all these songs, but like all these tracks, that part. Yeah. And which one do you want to keep? And I just, so yeah. It took a long time, but eventually we managed. And I think that's the magic of it. It's just like through all of that, we managed to have like that album, which at times I hated, but now but like you really listen to those songs, and I'm just like,
you listen over and over.
Yeah. But like, because when you do that, like on a short period of time, you go like, but you have to, you have like a goal. For this, you would just like stop, then listen to it, just like, is it good at all? Like, I remember I was like mowing the lawn and going like, do I like the songs even? And then the few days after, just like, no, it's actually awesome, So I've been through that the whole process, my life, and all of that has been going like this. Yeah.
Then of course, of course, at some point you listen to stuff and you don't know whether you are too critical or not critical enough. That's clear. But let me assure you, it's a really, really good album. It's like
cool.
A really good. I always say journalists love and hate genres, but if I had to put it into a genre, I would say it's a really, really good melodic death album. It's like a really, really good one.
Okay, well, thank you.
There is something that you indirectly already answered, but I would like to pinpoint it again. We are talking about a group whose members are playing with Kreator, who are playing with Sun, who are in Mayhem, with Jordi Van Slipknot. Sean once did something with Chimera. You yourself were in Dragonforce. Very, very different bands. A lot of stuff. Of course, so naturally one would say Sinsaenum is a supergroup. With that term comes a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
Let me put it the following. You probably give to expectations, right?
Yes. Yes. I don't like the name supergroup to begin with.
Yeah, but you can understand it, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's normal to define the band just like, okay, those are like members from this and this and this. And that's the definition of a supergroup.
Exactly.
But it has like the negative tone to it, as it's something on the side. It's not as important. It's fun. It's like a bunch of song of like friends having like a
garden party barbecue.
Yeah, 6-pack and just like, hey, let's jam and blah blah. And that's never been the case to me and for the others. To the others, it's just like I really worked hard on those songs, and everybody's just like putting like a lot of effort and a lot of passion into this. And yes, hopefully that's why I said earlier. I said like it was also important to have like Joyce in the band, Andre, because then we, it's like that family aspect has always been very important. Attila is in the band, he's not in the band. People don't know, but he's part of the family. So he's on some pictures. He's not, but it's like that family element. So therefore, it is, yes, a super group, but hopefully people don't mistake it from like something fun on the side that no one gives a
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because, and that is also, I think it's audible that it's not that kind of supergroup. It's not, let's just jam out like the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah, or even like Liquid Tension Experiment. I think like the first album was kind of cool. The second one was already like very jammy, like, just like long, jams. That's not the case here. I have nothing against Liquid Tension Experiment, but that's just the first one that came to mind. That's not the case. That's something we take very seriously. I take extremely seriously. Very seriously.
Yeah, and I also think, let's put it this way, especially with this album, if one reduces the record to being the product of such a supergroup, I think then you would do a disrespect to all the emotional background that is involved here.
I would say so. I mean, it's not my place to comment
No,
on this.
I totally think so.
Yeah.
I have two more questions before we come to the quickfire round.
Okay.
The first one is very simple. Who writes the lyrics in Sinsaenum? Is it you or is it the lyricist?
So
who writes the vocals?
It used to be Sean and me, but I think we had gone in circle after the first two albums. It was like that was cool, but I just wanted to get some for once external help. But
okay.
You know, and the Loud Blast album, the previous one, I remember like checking the lyrics. I'm like, Stéphane, did you write that? And he was like, no, it's Nathanael Underwood. And I was just like, wow, I like his style, and that's great. And now, like I was saying in a different interview, it's good to like, you know, keep it in the family and do everything ourselves. But with that being said, the family has to be good as well, you know. So we have Andre, is also like an excellent drummer. I could or Stéphane could also mix up the album. We can do that, but we chose Lasse because he's very good, you know.
If you work with Abigail Williams, you should be good there.
Yeah. So if I could have done the cover myself, the artwork, just like so it stays in the family. So my point is, at one point you need to delegate and just admit, just like, okay, well, you know, maybe this is not our forte, and let's work with someone who's like who's gonna be beneficial. So we worked with. Funny that you mentioned Abigail, because Mike Heller plays in the band, and he also wrote some of the lyrics on the album. And Nathanael Underwood, like I said, and another song was written by Ian, a friend of Mike. So that was based on the concept that we like the demos that we had with Sean at the beginning, because once I write the songs, you know, I want to have like the first thing I need from the others is basically Sean, so I can, you know, like have his voice and his ideas, placement. Some of it we kept, some of it we didn't, because we changed the lyrics and it wouldn't work. But we kept some of the words he came up with, or I came up with, and those guys came up with like amazing lyrics based on either their interpretation of our music or based on like a scenario that we had in mind. And then once that arrived, there was like a first draft, and then there was like a lot of back and forth, which also, now that I'm talking about it, that also one of the reasons why it took so long, because Nathanael is very, very talented, but fuck me, it takes a lot of time and he's very bad with deadlines. So hopefully he's listening to this. I love you, man, but fucking hell, you're horrible with deadlines. You know, I was just like, I need those lyrics now. So yeah,
I needed them last week. Now it's a month later.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no, it was a bit of that. But luckily, I was those deadlines were more to me to, you know, to move on to another thing. But I knew that there was like no time anyway, because I was busy with Kreator. But so the lyrics come from outside in terms of words, but I identify with them because I still like I have to overview everything, and some of the concept, like Last Goodbye, for example, I told him exactly what I wanted to express. It's just I was not able to express it myself. I'm better with music than words. I'm a good when it comes to like one-on-one talk. I'm very good with words, but when it comes to music, I'm actually distracted by the melodies and the chords and whatnot. And I like the fact that music creates, at least in my head, like creates a story on its own and images and whatnot. That's how I grew up listening to bands that mostly sang in English, and I'm French, and I didn't speak English at the time. Still don't. And so
your English is much better than my French. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, d'accord, peut-être.
Je ne parle pas français.
Yeah, that was good. So I didn't know what the hell they were singing about. To me, I was creating my own world, and that's how I built my love for music. It was based on that, those images of like no idea that the I don't know what Back in the Village is about. To me, it's all based on that cover of like everything takes place in Egypt. It's definitely not the case, but
Not all.
no. But no, I know, I know now, but not for that one. I don't know what Back in the Village is about. Actually, I check the lyrics later. But yeah, my point is, when you write lyrics, sometimes it's a little it's too much of a, or the way I do it at least is like too much of a giveaway. So I like the fact that Nathanael at least is just like a sort of like creating but it's just better at it than I am.
The last thing, and that is, and here I come back to the personal thing. You've mentioned music. I'm very sure you would agree with me that writing these, especially the last third of a record, surely is some kind of coping with loss and everything that comes with it. Would you say that with the help of this record, you were able to close the void a little bit? One can never close the void completely, but a little bit?
The album was not done to close that void. It was it was done like I said, as a tribute, and doing those interviews is more therapeutic than working on the album itself.
I'll send you the bill later.
You send it, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, but that's you. There's a lot of bills I have, like all those interviews, But I think that's more therapeutic than the making the album itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure, there are some aspects about it, and maybe right now it's still fresh because the album is not really out yet, and it's still to me, as long as it's not out, it's still in the making somehow. But talking about it at first was very painful, and then it just turned out that it's a very good thing. Then it's good for people that are going through this if they read the interview or listen to the interview and they go like, oh, okay, And to me, the fact that talking about it more and more makes me accept it more and more, and that's good. But yeah, the music is just as sad as the title is, because it represents like my life and how I feel in Devastation. The music itself, like I keep saying, was started to be written before, and it's supposed to be escapism. It's supposed to be like catchy, straightforward, punch in the face. It's death metal, and it's shrouded in sadness. And yeah, my life is what it is, but the music was not intended to be that. Well, just that. There are elements, of course, because So, but the void is not. It's not with this album. It's just I'm not gonna put it on, and But I know what it's meant. Yeah.
So first of all, thanks for the insight into all the things related to In Devastation. Everybody remember, record release August 8th on Ear Music. But of course, nobody leaves a Veil of Sound interview without the infamous quickfire round. This time, as I did not talk too much about the other projects that your bandmates are in, I decided to look at their more well-known projects, although I think Sinsaenum should be very, very, very high on the list. And I thought I'll give you 2 records by one band that each of your bandmates has worked on. Let's start with Heimoth. I'm very sure I mispronounced it. Heimoth?
Heimoth, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, I don't know. We call him Heimoth. But we say that with like a French accent, so I'm not even sure. That's a question for him, so I don't know.
Anyway, probably his most well-known band is Seth.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 2 Seth records, and you have to decide between Le Blessure de l'Homme or La Morsure du Christ? And I'm very sure I fucked that up.
No, that's fine. La morsure du Christ, les blessures de l'âme. Les blessures de l'âme.
Okay. The early one, by the way, for everybody. Then we'll go on to Sean, who, as I said, had a stint in Chimera, or who did something with Chimera. I just thought immediately back to 25 years ago when I listened to Chimera a lot. I'll give you 2 Chimera records. Chimera, self-titled, or Pass Out of Existence.
Fuck, I would have chosen, like Chimera, I would have chosen Resurrection, but it was not...
It's not one of my 2.
I know, fine. Well, then Chimera.
Okay. Then let's get the elephant out of the room. Slipknot.
Yeah.
Iowa versus Volume 3 Subliminal Voices. Versus.
Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Then Stéphane, as we've already heard, is a member in Loud Blast, as you...
Yes.
I don't know, are you still, or is your...
I'm still.
So I'll give you... So let's say those are record for Stéphane. Sublime Dementia versus Sensorial Treatment.
Oh, that's easy. That's Sublime Dementia.
Mm-hmm.
I would have personally chosen Disincarnate, but since those are your choices, yes, Sublime Dementia.
And for Attila, also, let's get the elephant out of the room. For me, it's Sun. I like Mayhem, but for me, his contributions with Sun are even better than that. So I'll give you White 2 versus Black 1.
Black 1.
Mm-hmm. And of course, being a German, I cannot let you go without talking about probably the best German thrash band ever, Kreator.
Uh-huh.
So you have to choose between Pleasure to Kill and Coma of Souls.
Pleasure to Kill.
I know that is an easy one. But I always also like to get something through the interview. And as I see the wonderful Tony Montana Scarface poster behind you, I give you 2 other mafia movies.
Okay.
You have to choose between Godfellas and The Godfather.
The Goodfellas.
Oh.
Yes.
That's an interesting choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Frédéric, thanks for your time. Thanks for the record. And everybody, in Devastation, August 8th, out on Ear Music, listen to it. I think it will be hard for any melodic death metal record this year to really beat this one. I think it's a really, really, really cool record.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stéphane, enjoy the rest of the evening, my friend. Bye-bye.
Yes, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.